So after seeing Sony's recent news, I decided to do kind of an impromptu video. So this is off the cuff, no script, and I really want to talk about the importance of what we are losing with digital media, because there's a whole lot of differing opinions out there on the internet, which I've watched a lot of them. Some that feel digital is not a big deal, we should just have everything digital, and the other side that says no, we need physical. And so I'm going to walk down memory lane a little bit and look at things since I was from the 90s to the 2000s growing up with boxed video games on PC and on our different systems. So I felt like I wanted to talk about it a little bit. So indulge me, let's go into it. So Sony has some really great timing considering they've announced that they are going to be discontinuing physical game discs starting in 2028. Now, if we think this is going to be all good until 2028, don't count on it. I really don't see game companies waiting till 2028 to cut it off. They're going to start winding it down right away. This is a cost-cutting technique. I think we all understand that. And sadly, that cost-cutting doesn't pass on to you or me as the consumer or the customer. I mean, look back when they started going digital and it was propped up as this amazing thing that you're going to get. They tried to make it some great thing like they were going to cut costs with the digital media and pass it on to you. Yet we never saw those savings, and the cost is just as much physically as it is digitally, if not more so. And it's ridiculous. Because I'm going to show you a couple of things from the early 2000s that actually meant you got more for your money. What a surprise, right? So I brought some things for show and tell. In 2000, I went down to my local Office Depot, which I'm not sure if they're even around anymore, and purchased a boxed copy of The Sims. I believe at that time it was around $40 it was going for. It might even been $50. Either way, it was relatively new at the time, and I'm looking for sales. But I want to show you what I got in a boxed copy. So, of course, you have the box. This is wonderful. This was always fun to look at, and they would always give you this nice flap to look through all the pretty colors, of course, but all the different things in this game. They'd have to go to some trouble to put this together. And then, of course, you had the back of the box, right? So you had that. Okay. We got a thing called a manual, which sadly has gone the way of the dinosaur, but a manual that was pretty dang big. For the time, it's black and white, but still, I remember going on a road trip. I couldn't play this right away. I got the game, but I was not going to be home near my computer, and we're going on a road trip. So I took the manual with me, and I read this thing, and what it did was it just built up the excitement for the game. I was more excited to play the game, and I was learning about the game because the people, Maxis in this case, built an amazing game and an amazing manual. It was fun. I was excited about the game. We don't get that today. I mean, it's not even, maybe on GOG.com you might get digital goodies and you'll get a PDF of a manual. And that's really sad. We don't have a physical object to hold and look through today. Manuals are just gone. Okay, so one final thing I would get in there, of course. I think most people know about this. This is a CD case or a jewel case. All right, so you would get the game on a disc, and this is the game on the disc. I could take the disc out, put it in my CD drive. In this case, it was a CD drive, didn't have a DVD drive at the time. And I would play the game. And on the back here, I have the code to be able to play my game, because that was the form of DRM at the time. Didn't mind it, wasn't nearly as intrusive as what we have today, and it didn't require the internet. Wow, what a concept. Okay, let's go on one more. I'm still on the Maxis bend here. All right. Bought SimCity 3000 Unlimited. I do not remember when this happened, but again, beautiful fold out. They took some effort to make these boxes and to really sell you on the idea of this game, okay? But let me show you the manual. Now this is where I feel like they went all out. Spiral bound manual and somewhat black and white. They've got blue color on the manual, but this is a huge book. This thing is huge, okay? This was so much fun to have to look through. If I couldn't play the game, if I was too busy to play the game, I could go back to this and just enjoy the manual. If I had a question, I could look it up in here. They put a lot of effort, and it used to be a lot of effort for the $40, $50, maybe $60 at one point for this game. Now, good luck if you get anything for your money. What, you get digital goods? You get an outfit for your extra $30, $40, maybe just some digital goodies that maybe they cut out of the base game. It's so sad to me that boxed copies have gone this way, and now the consoles are becoming this way as well, thanks to Sony. And if you don't think that Xbox and Nintendo are going to follow suit, just wait. I don't think it's going to be long before you start seeing them do the same, unfortunately. There was something really special about boxes because they just made a game interesting. Now, this is Virtua Cop 2 for the Sega Saturn. They were giant boxes, yeah, but man, it was so cool to open this thing up and you got your disc, you've got a manual, and it was just so fun to hold these things. It really built out your library. Now, in my case, when it comes to physical media, I am by no means a collector, so I see there are lots of YouTubers out there that have way bigger collection than me, and that's great. In my case, I wanted to hold on to all of my childhood games that I enjoyed growing up and still enjoy to this day. But the idea that we're growing up into a world, and maybe I'm just being nostalgic, but we are going into a world in which everything's going to be digitally controlled. And as Sony has recently shown, your digital goods aren't safe by any means because all you are getting is a license. It's essentially a glorified long-term rental for as long as they feel you have the right to possess it. That's really disgusting. Look at Sony's recent problem with, I believe it was Studio Canal. There are a lot of movies that people are having removed from their libraries that they paid for. At the very least, you would think Sony could allow the individuals to download the video files and burn it onto a DVD. But no, that would require giving too much control to you, the consumer or the customer. So I have some big problems with this, considering those people paid good money for the movies. It's really sad. I think that needs to change. If you have physical media, nobody's going to take that away from you. There are a couple of other things to keep in mind as well. As games grow larger in size, we are going to have less hard disk space on our gaming consoles. And while on a PC, maybe I could upgrade it, add in another hard drive, or get a bigger hard drive. I don't usually have that option on a console. You don't really have that option. So this idea that we're going to get bigger games that you have to download, what if your hard drive is already full? Well, better delete a game and then put that new one on. Whereas if I had a disk, while it does download to the hard drive, I can uninstall it and reinstall it much quicker than it would be downloading the entire game off of the internet. It seems to me like most game companies are just uploading the raw files, such as high resolution textures, and not compressing those textures down the way they used to have to when they're going to put it on a disk, to try and save as much space as possible and use as few disks as possible. What I'm seeing now, for instance, what was it, Call of Duty Warzone has been for a while way up there on the hard drive space, up 250, maybe it's even more now, 250 gigabytes. That to me is ridiculous that you need that much space for a game. But to me that seems like people who just don't understand how to compress files down, or maybe they're just doing it intentionally, laziness, right? So it's passed on to you, again, the consumer, to have to use more bandwidth, more time to download all the game files. It's sad. Now when it comes to boxed games, I remember, so GOG, if you haven't heard of GOG, they do a great job of giving you the ability to own your games. You can download the base files. You can download the entire game. It has an executable. You can burn it onto a disk, burn it onto multiple disks. You have the right to play that game, and it's not going to require internet. So this is a wonderful thing. For instance, copy of The Witcher 3. I have I don't know how many discs, but they all come on discs. If, for any reason, GOG goes out of business, I will still be able to play this game years from now. I don't have to have a digital download available to me. Yeah, I will be missing some updates, maybe some additional DLCs later on, but with my 6 discs, I can install and play the game at any time I want. Again, may not be as great as the patched version, but at least I'll be able to play the game that I bought. As a PC gamer for many years, this idea of digital games is nothing new. It happened long ago, but it's really coming about strongly, more strongly for console players. And we're just seeing this continual push towards all digital goods. But Sony, as well as other online sites, has shown us that your digital goods aren't safe in any way. Again, it's a license. It's not actual ownership of a physical disc. It's pretty sad for kids growing up today that many of them have no clue what a box copy of anything is. They're used to all digital. Now, one bright side I can bring up about this, the only bright side I can find, because it's pretty depressing otherwise, is that maybe this will push more to go check out retro gaming. Now, sadly, nowadays it's so expensive to buy physically, and this is only going to drive prices up, whether it's scalpers or whether it's just at your local pawn shops. It's going to be ridiculously priced because there's going to be less and less physical media available to buy within the gaming space. Now, even if you're not a collector, it's going to be harder and harder to find these older games. There are other ways, but I won't mention those right now. But the main idea is that I hope more and more kids today will get into checking out earlier games. There are so many games on the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, the Wii, tons of games that are still amazing to go back and play. And for those who haven't experienced them, what a wonderful privilege to experience some of these for the first time. So that would probably be the only silver lining for the future, is that more people will go and experience some of these excellent titles on the earlier consoles, earlier systems, or on the PC, and find out about these earlier games and check them out for yourself. It's still a fairly sad state of affairs when it comes to Sony, and I believe Xbox and Nintendo in the future, but I do hope that some things will change. I would love to see physical media come back. Just not sure when that will actually be or if it will ever happen. But thank you for listening to my rambling. I appreciate the time. I really wanted to talk about this. It irritated me just like it's irritated many people on YouTube. I don't blame them. It's such a frustration for collectors or for just those who are enthusiasts about video games. I hope this helped you and maybe gives you some ideas for the future to invest in products that you either physically possess or, such as GOG.com, giving you the ability to at least download and install that game for yourself without the need for internet, with the ability to put it onto physical media. Think how few computers are even giving you disk drives nowadays. The cost for these computers is still way up there, and yet you're getting less. It's very unfortunate, but I hope for the future to be better, and we shall see. But for now, I hope you check out some fun retro games. As fun as some of the new games can be, the old stuff is pretty amazing. So, I hope you check it out, and until next time, have yourself a great day.